And we're live. Hey, and a little bit
Yay.
of technical difficulties to start off with tonight.
My fault.
Oh, no, it's Google Hangouts'
How
fault.
dare you?
Well, Google Hangouts, how much I hate you. But like I said, we'll try to work on something new for probably next season of Guardian Podcast. So, but thank you guys for all coming out tonight. It was actually a little bit rushed again to get guests because we had people cancel on us again. So, but thank you guys for coming out. It's good to have you here, and especially you, Sam, since you were about to go watch Game of Thrones.
I know, but it failed me, so
Oh,
eventually.
Game of Thrones, our main competitor for people on.
would you ever try to do it like maybe on a Saturday or even Friday night, Jordan?
I've thought about it, but the reason why we did Sunday is because we did a lot of questioning around with the guests to see what the best time was, and most people said Sundays were the best time.
Not anymore.
Yeah, apparently not. So I guess I'll just have to change things around, do a little bit more research this time around. Can't depend on 4-year-old research.
Right.
But so let me introduce everybody. So or we'll let everybody introduce themselves.
Yeah.
Jackie.
Oh God, I'm first. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm Jackie. I am one of the leads for the PA team for this year. So it'll be my second time being lead, fourth time being a guardian. But I've always been on the PA team, so I feel very blessed and very, very lucky to be here. So thanks for having me on. Also, ladies represent for tonight.
Oh yeah.
Right? Okay.
It's almost-
Jordan, you can be an honorary lady tonight. Why not?
It'll be just us girls tonight.
Hey.
Well, Marcy, you're next.
Who, me next? Hello, I'm Marcy, and this is Gizmo. I think my first RTX was 2013. The first time I was a Guardian was 2014, so 2 years ago, and I've been a PA Guardian for Mr. Bernie Burns ever since. Yay, Bernie!
Sam.
All right, this is my third year as a guardian, and this will be my second year as a PA guardian. The first year I was an exhibitor guardian.
Okay.
So I'm back.
Exhibitor Guardians are also a very fun team. I feel like they're also kind of like PAs, just more for the exhibitors than
Yeah,
anything.
pretty much. Whatever needs they had, we were their PAs to take care of. So, assuming that they do it the same every year.
Yeah, assuming.
Yeah.
But and I am your host, Jordan. This will be my fourth year, I'm trying to remember. Fourth year as a Guardian. This will be my fifth one.
Numbers go 1, 2.
Sorry, I'm getting
It
numbers
jumbles a
confused.
lot, though. It really does.
It's fifth year as a Guardian, fifth RTX, fourth year as a Guardian, third year as a PA. God damn it!
You just want to get that guardianship out there immediately,
Yeah.
not RTX. The
Yeah.
Guardian.
Good
Yeah,
thing this
so-
is recorded for future blackmail.
Exactly, my flubs.
Well, it is confusing when you start out as an attendee and then you get into guardianship and then you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe so much time has actually passed since I started doing this thing, So I stumble too. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's all good.
but yeah, I was thinking because it's 2012. That's 4 years ago. That's 4 years. I was like, wait, no, this would be my fifth RTX. So almost sixth. I couldn't come to the first one. So, and I actually had a ticket too, but I had things come up. But speaking of RTX, we had schedules come out recently.
Yeah.
So now for all the PAs, we can sort of plan.
Sort of.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's going to be a pretty busy one. And I totally called it. There's going to be an amazing race panel, which is going to be cool. I wonder if they're going to actually ask any other people that were on the show to show up, or if it's just going to be Bernie and Ashley up there. That would be kind of, but if they got Tyler Oakley and gang, or even like the winners, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. I said I wasn't into the Amazing Race this year. Like I've heard like a lot of people, cheering, and I cheered on Bernie and everything, but I never actually got around to watching it.
I don't have a TV package, so I have Netflix and my consoles. That's about it. I don't really watch TV, so. But I was cheering from, my side of the internet.
Yep.
It was very hard to watch, especially the episode where they lost. I was in Atlantic City treating my mom to an Atlantic City trip for Mother's Day, and I was working with a broken TV to begin with. Like, the TV was perfectly fine in the hotel room the entire time we were there, except for when the fucking show started. And after
like my night tonight.
Exactly, right? Every 2.5 minutes, the video would cut out. I would hear audio, but I wouldn't see the visuals, and I'm like, I can't have this happen to me right now. So the video would only come back if I would turn the channel up one and then down one, or down one then up one. As long as I would change the channel, that would work. Excuse me. So I had to do that throughout the entire episode, and then after all of that fucking work, they were to lose, and I just chucked the remote on the floor, and I couldn't believe it. But I was just like, God damn it, lost. And I was
Hey,
like,
they got close, though. They got very close,
Yeah,
which
they did.
that's saying something.
Yeah, I've been watching their podcasts about the Amazing Race, and like just how close it was. That does suck, but I totally blame my TV not working for the reason why they lost back in November.
Blame all the superstitions.
You just had to go out of town,
Yeah. My sister was rooting for Bernie. Like she really started to like his personality more. Like, she's not a big Rooster Teeth fan, but she does like Michael and Gavin, like their Play Pal stuff, or like the Minecraft Let's Plays, or even the GTA stuff. She's watched some of that, which is weird because that doesn't seem like a game she'd ever be into. But when she was watching the show, she definitely appreciated Bernie and Ashley more, and she was like, I could see why you would get along with him. And I was like, we're nerds, yeah, absolutely. But then she said, but if they lose, Tyler Oakley all the way. And I'm like, and he didn't even win either. Spoiler alert. So it's all good. Yeah, I was not expecting who to win was to win at all. They drove me nuts the whole season because they were just yelling at each other the whole time. Like, Dana would just lose her patience like immediately and just be like, go do whatever you want to do. I'm just not going to be a part of the race anymore. And I'm like, you're fucking just, oh my god. Like, that's what they do, put on the show to keep people like, what are they going to do next episode? Like, I'm sure they weren't fighting the whole time. That's just what made it to TV. So
Yeah, you got to have a little bit of drama in there.
But anyways, sorry, enough about the Amazing Race.
That's fine. But is there any specific panels that you guys saw on there that you would like to go see?
Mario Party After Dark, because I've never been able to go to one at an actual convention.
Mario Party After Dark, what's that?
Yes, I don't know.
I've never been able to go one. I have no idea what it is.
But yeah, I really don't know what exactly it is. But at most, like, anime conventions, you have Mario Party After Dark, Disney After Dark, you have the rave, and it's very interesting that they've incorporated all of that more into their schedule to make it more of a, like, not really a broader convention, but to like tie into all the other parts that have been added to it. So
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more variety this year. And I think Tim said in the group meet that we have 12 convention rooms, like 12 panel rooms this year, which, we had like 9 last year, I think is what he said.
I also saw that Signatures is in the convention center this year. Good luck, Iris.
Oh, shit.
Can we put it right in the middle of the expo hall again, like we did the first time?
Oh my
Seriously.
god.
Yeah, no, I was reading where like a lot of the stuff was going to be, and I'm like, wait, where do they think they're going to put it now? But I guess it makes sense because, like,
we had the whole building this year, so.
Yeah, so that I'm sure makes sense. Like, I was, curious, like, how much of each hotel we were going to be using this year, with us using the entire convention center this year. I will say, I don't know if many of you guys have gotten lost in the convention center on the mysterious floors where you need a key card to get out of. Every day, my first year being Bernie's PA, I got stuck in there, and it's not fun to get lost in there. So we as PAs, we're going to definitely need as many tours as possible, Jackie.
Oh my
Especially
God.
since we have a lot more people too. So
You guys have seen me stream, right? I can't even pay attention to like where I am in a video game. How do you think I'm gonna like manage in real life?
Yeah, no, it's because I mean, like this is just from like the government background that I have, where you need key cards to get into as many doors as possible. Like my office, I used to have a DOE was 3 doors that I had to swipe a key and put the pin in. Fuck it, and like that's exactly what these guys have to do. Is they have to swipe a card and put a pin number in just to let you out the door. And like I don't know if they plan on being around during the weekend, so I don't know if you're going to be locked inside of there. Like it was like by chance we had this one custodian that just kept seeing us every single day of the convention back in 2014, and he would just be like, you know, cursing to himself, getting us out of there. But then, of course, we would end up on the 2nd floor, which would be like that little overlay just above like where everybody like would line up where like registration was last year, and it didn't actually go anywhere. Like we couldn't get onto an escalator or to a stairwell to get to like where the main ballroom levels were. So we were like,
back through.
yeah, exactly, and it's just like, I don't want to do that this year. I'm determined not to get lost this year.
I think we should just give everybody a piece of paper and a compass and just let them go at it. You know? Make it
I'm
Minecraft
for
style.
that plan.
Look for the cat in the corner with a halo over its head for a quest and go for it.
We get a sextant and a compass, and it's like, you know, chart out your.
Where are the stars,
Where are the
guys?
stars? Where's the North Star?
Oh my god.
But,
Do you remember like those really, really old video games like Wizardry? And you'd be in a maze. I think Legends of Grim, I forgot what it was, but like every step you had to like mark it on your own map. You had to make your own blocks.
no,
and, like,
I've never.
remember where you go. Oh my god! I was like, fuck this game. I couldn't deal with it because like everywhere you turned was a wall, but you had to remember on your own, like exactly where you were. There was no map. You had to draw your own. So like maybe we should do that.
It's giving me PTSD on the game The Witness, because there's a lot of puzzles that are like that, where like what puzzle you just solved is now a bigger puzzle where you're the little line trying to get through to the end, and like you should have taken a picture or at least drawn real quickly what that path was because it's timed. And I'm like I can't listen to the Hall of the Mountain King anymore. It's ruined me. I can't do it anymore.
Aww.
I tried The Witness, so I tried it, but I could not. I was too dumb for that game.
It's not that okay. So I've actually noticed this a lot, especially since I started streaming. Like people will be like, "Oh, you know, this part is so easy," you know, like for you, maybe, you know, like there's so many different characteristics to games, and they mesh with different types of personalities. I'm like, no, I fucking suck at this game, but if you're great at it, then by all means. But I would never say that because you couldn't handle or you couldn't solve this one puzzle that you're stupid or, you know, you couldn't figure it out. I'm pretty sure you have strengths in other areas.
Yeah.
You know, like I couldn't. Oh my god. I might have vague tweeted. I might have vague tweeted because I read this one comment. It was something like, "Oh yeah, well this particular boss was so easy for me. I can't believe you struggled at it." And I was like, "Bitch." I think I was like vague tweeting. I was like, It's different for everybody. Not everyone's going to be the best at, you know, what you're best at. So.
Yeah.
It boggles my mind how some people think.
Yeah, like with you, one of your hardest bosses to beat was the Crystal Sage, which happened to be my easiest boss. But you and Vati Vidya,
Yeah.
both had a huge problem with that one.
But that one wasn't even the hardest boss. The hardest boss so far, by far, was that stupid Ent that was like driving his crotch into your face. I'm like, oh, I'm not your OBGYN. What is this? And he would like, spit on you, and he would like almost like, man, Japanese people are just so like, Japanese game developers, man. Like, what is there's a tree with his legs open, shoving his crotch area into you, and I'm like, oh boy, I got to get through this boss real quick.
Yeah.
Get old.
I literally saw that. I was like, does that thing have a ball sack?
Yes.
They want
Granted,
it to
it
be
was
very
like all over the
realistic.
place, but most prominent, boom, right there.
Hold on, I need to pull that picture up just for the
God.
just for you guys because it's such a very absurd looking boss.
I was like, oh, this place is so pretty. I wouldn't mind dying here. Nope, there's like an ant like just boom, right in your face. Like, this is disgusting.
Yeah, no, that was the one thing though, Jordan, about the Witness is like the guy that made it. He's brilliant in the fact that all these puzzles, like, you know, if one method doesn't work, then it's like try a different way. Now that's where I would get frustrated because I'm like, well, I don't know what the other way is, but then I'm like, but you're good at puzzles, you can do this. And so like I had my friend Becca, like I stopped streaming it because way too many people were trying to tell me the answer and I was getting frustrated. So I eventually just streamed with my friend Becca on the phone, and she wouldn't give me any hints. She would just be there to be like my moral support, really. I would vent. And
Yeah.
it just made it a little bit more fun for that. What the hell? Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, right here is where the
Look at that!
Wow.
What
Wow.
kind of bullshit is that?
Well,
Disgusting!
and then
you might want to go see a doctor about that. That's a little intense.
Treebeer got an STD.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. The only thing that was helping me in that fight was like I was imagining every ex that ever wronged me. Just railing on it.
Oh my god.
Oh, disgusting. Anywho, sorry. Tangent.
You're fine, you're fine. But yeah, no, this is the last I'll talk about the Witness, but the one puzzle that apparently less than 0.1% of the people that bought the game could solve, I solved in 15 minutes. A puzzle that took a lot of people 5 minutes to solve took me an hour and 47 minutes. So, like, I was so frustrated. I posted it even on Twitter, and I was like, these pieces can't move, but these can. It's symmetry, which is like the worst ever, because if like you move one way, the other line's gonna move like mirror.
Oh my
move,
god,
you know?
yeah.
And Kevin, within 5 minutes of me posting it, said, "This is the solution." I'm like, "Fuck you, Kevin." Darn you, Kevin Choi. Yeah, that's just how it is, though. Puzzles are fun, and they can kill you at the same time, like emotionally and physically.
Yeah, it's just a lot of puzzle games like Portal. I'm good at the game. I can beat that game like in under an hour. If I
You know what, though?
really
I
try.
can say that. I can
Oh,
say
yeah.
that, but I've played fan levels that would have like 100% completion level, like, you know, where people have, you know, it would be like the Mario Maker of Portal. Like, do you remember that?
Right.
Like, when they were like maybe considering Portal 3? There was this one guy that they actually hired to be a potential level creator for the next game. He only released 10 levels, and then they're like, "You're too good. You need to work with Valve now." So he worked for Valve now, but I tried like just one of his levels that everybody said was so good. I can't solve it. I have no idea how people solve it, and I've tried like I even replayed Portal 2 to refresh on like how certain gels work and how like the velocity works, and I'm like, okay, how do you solve this? Like, it's on my Steam. Like, I have the level downloaded on my Steam account, so I could always, like, you know, try to stream me going through his levels and be like, maybe this time, maybe after 3-4 years since it's been uploaded, I can solve it now. But because I do consider myself to be like a Portal master. Like, I got the game.
Yeah.
Not with this guy though.
I said some people are just really good at doing puzzles and well, making puzzles too.
My
Mm.
favorite kind of puzzles, the old-fashioned kind, you know, with the little pieces. I'm not allowed to do them in my house whenever my mom and my sister are doing them because I like put it together too fast and then they yell at me.
Aw.
So every time I walk in the room, they just stare at me until I leave.
Making this look bad, Sam.
Right.
No.
So I'll
Raps in
just
the
walk over and be like, "Oh, that goes there." They're like, "You bitch! I've been looking for that."
I usually get the puzzles that are on sale at like an arts and crafts store where there's 2 pieces intentionally missing and I want to kill someone. Like, I'm just like, that's why it doesn't work. It's because I'll solve it all and there's 2 pieces missing and they're like, yeah, it actually was a return. And I'm like, fuck everybody. I see Raph's in the chat. Hi, Raph. No, I didn't share any recipes yet. I don't know if anybody really wants me to. I can share that muffin recipe of the muffin that I've since decimated.
That's it. But yeah, that's like one of the main things when Tim was talking in the group meet today. He's like, "Oh, you can have Marcy talk about recipes today," which I'm pretty sure you could like have your own podcast discussing recipes. You have so many, and they look so
make a
good.
YouTube series, you know.
Well, no,
Marcy's-
that's something that I've been thinking about. Like, I'm currently working on artwork and channel art for my YouTube channel, and also for my Twitch, and also some animations for intros and outros. I haven't touched Flash since high school, so like
A lot's changed.
2002 was the last time I've touched it. So now I'm looking at it again. I'm like, it's supposed to be simpler. I'm confused and lost.
Oh yeah.
So
Flash back then was owned by Macromedia. Now it's Adobe. So
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah.
the good old days.
Yeah, so I've been watching this one guy that has a try this again, pixel art style, which is kind of like what my little Twitch icon, which I think I'm going to carry over to my YouTube channel, just maybe with like frizzy hair versus it in the ponytail. But yeah, once I get all of that done, then I'm going to start uploading my game footage, and I do want to do cooking videos, but it's so hard to do with parents around because they're just walking around their bathrobes, just getting in the way, and I'm like, no.
It's called comedic entertainment. Audience will love it.
Seriously.
Just
Well,
don't even like reference them anywhere. Just like continue on. They'll be like, who's that person?
yeah. Well, we also have a very tiny kitchen. The house was built in 51, I think it was. So like the kitchen is like the size of like a normal person's bathroom nowadays. Like I would like to finally like maybe once my parents, put the word in and get it remodeled because we desperately need it. If we get like a kitchen island or something like that, that'd be cool. That, or I can go bug some of my friends and just film at their places because they have more space. But I do want to post like paleo recipes because a lot of them are really hard to find. Like just me trying to get into the diet, I've looked, and a lot of people that say they're a paleo diet like YouTube channel, they're not. Like, they use ingredients that are not part of the paleo diet. Like, this woman's like, and then you add the oat flour. I'm like, that's a grain. It's not paleo. You fucktard.
I just want to have Marcy have a series where she just calls people fucktards on her.
Dude, you might soon. I've heard inklings that maybe I'll get a PS4 for my birthday, maybe. So I heard that new Batman Arkham bundle is coming out like a couple weeks after my birthday, so I will be replaying all the Batman games and I will be yelling at things. Because like when I was going through just the original Xbox games, I lost like half the audio footage for both the game and my mic.
Oh.
So I have to refilm it because I'm not having an incomplete like technical difficulty and you miss like half the game. So, yeah.
Yeah, I never got around to like back when you were doing your Twitch streaming. I was like, another time I was like one of the bigger mods for another channel. So I was like working with Elon, Jen, and like a couple other people doing mod stuff for them. So it's like as soon as he started up, I was like, damn it, I want to go there and hang out, but don't have time.
I hear you. It's totally fine. Like,
Same thing with Mary. So
Yeah.
whenever she streams.
Yeah, I just like, when I was in the mood for it, I was going to do it. And like usually I would only do it if people bought me a game to play. Like Caitlin bought me Undertale and I was so excited to finally try it.
Undertale's such a good game.
Yeah, that was a really, really fun game. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I know Mary tried it, I know Jen tried it, and I know that give or take they didn't like it or did like it, but I got the Tumblr humor, I guess you would say. So I probably enjoyed it more than others. I don't know.
I played the game. I couldn't get very far. Like, I got far, but I started getting to the harder bosses, and I couldn't get past them. So I was like, you know what? I'm not too worried about spoilers and experiencing it on my own. So I watched the Game Grumps play it.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, Ross's impersonation of Papyrus. Yes. His impersonation just like fuels me.
Oh yeah, no, like I was actually even thinking about re-recording it, but like doing like the bad run, I guess you would call it.
The genocide run.
Yeah, and like actually try to do voices because I can do some voices. Like I helped out some friends back at SCAD when they were doing like their animation finals. I like threw in some, so I got some party tricks, but they're not. Like, when I watched the Game Grumps, I was like, I could never beat them, ever, so I'm not even going to try it, so I didn't do that.
Like, with, like, there's, like, certain people, like, whenever they talked about, like, certain people's, like, whenever they think of a certain character, this is what the voice they think of. Papyrus is always going to be Ross's.
Ross, yeah.
Most people were saying with Undyne that was theirs. I was like, really? Okay.
That was a joke, though. That wasn't, like, a really serious voice.
Yeah. So.
I'd say Papyrus and Sans is definitely burying Ross forever.
Yeah.
But past that, Oh, well, Flowey. I mean, Ross's Flowey is pretty terrifying. Anyways, let's not talk about Undertale. RTX.
Yeah,
Did you guys see my tweet earlier about the hit bag that I got?
Yes,
I did.
yes.
So it's pretty cool and it's very roomy. And I tagged the RTX event Twitter account on it, and they retweeted it. And then Greg Miller's like, please bring the Band-Aids to Gus. He'll need them. And I'm like, your shenanigans last year are what inspired my entire team to carry Band-Aids.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I always carry Band-Aids on me. And
I haven't. I didn't even think to. It wasn't until last year, and for those who are, hey Jonathan, it wasn't until Greg Miller broke a fake glass bottle over Gus's head, and he actually did it incorrectly, so Gus started bleeding, and that's when Warpeck, bless you, Warpeck, she's a registered nurse, I believe, and she was completely prepared. So I was like, I should probably carry around something like that just in case, because I don't know. Even though I'm not technically assigned to anybody, it is good to have that kind of stuff on hand.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually at the CVS, it was the art auction, so Thursday, the night before. I bolted over there to get some black pantyhose to go with my little dress that I was going to wear to the art auction. And I saw it was a little pocket-sized first aid kit, and it had just like the bare essentials and like this like little tiny thing. And I was like, it's only $5. I'll get it. So I got it. And so the entire convention, I had that in my purse. And Bernie trying to call me out, being all like, did you bring me Band-Aids? I'm like, yeah. And I was like, got a whole box of them. And I was like, don't be trying to call me out on this. But yeah, no, it is.
I had superhero Band-Aids and Disney princess Band-Aids.
Those are the best.
But yeah, I learned from my RTX. Now I have to always carry Hall's fruit freezers for Miles every year because it's always going to be a thing that he might lose his voice.
He goes because he's so, and this is actually a strength of his. It's not like I'm talking shit or anything, but he goes so over the top for the audience.
Mm-hmm.
He goes from 0 to like 15 very, very quickly, and I don't think he realizes how much adrenaline and energy he actually uses up in a very short amount of time, and then he just crashes afterwards. So bless him, but still, I was like, dude, you still got like another 2 days. What are you doing?
Oh yeah. He's always so exhausted afterwards, but yeah, bless Miles. Especially when he had to go through the entire it was like the last day when he had his signatures and he had to have like literally like I lost my voice name tag on him. So he literally was trying to like basically speak to fans but without a voice. At the time he was like pantomiming what he was trying to say.
It's awesome. To answer, Jonathan, it's recommended. I mean, if not for the staff, for you, you might hurt yourself too.
I said even then, like you might develop blisters and stuff like that because a lot of people, it's a lot more walking than they're used to.
Mm-hmm. And especially if you have shitty shoes and you haven't broken into them before the convention, don't do that. You blisters, mad blisters, I mean, it will kill your entire just mood for the rest of the day. So get those Band-Aids and Neosporin on them ASAP and take care of yourself.
I actually needed, thanks to George on our team, I needed an ankle brace. Because I don't know what I did. I don't know, because my shoes were very supportive. I'd broken them in and everything, but I don't know. Maybe I just have really, really crappy ankles, but I couldn't put a lot of pressure on my foot. So he actually gave me one of his extras, and thank God, because I don't think I would have been able to walk around as much as I could have. But I think there's kind of a little competition going on with the PA team as far as who could walk the most miles. I think James, who was Matt's PA last year, he clocked in over the 3 days 53 miles.
I mean, James had the advantage. He had to keep on going back to the hotels and stuff for Matt, so it's there's no competing with that. I think I ended up around 46 to 47 miles last year, so it was a lot.
Need to get a Fitbit or an app or something that'll count my steps, because I bet I walked just as many. I just had no way of calculating that type of shit. So
It's
Well,
just
okay.
so hard, especially with the 3 locations.
yeah, and the non-existent pedicab thing that was supposed to pick us up, so we just had to walk it anyways.
Well, hopefully they're going to have more transportation available. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, we did tell them, it's like, hey, 2 is not enough.
And
Especially for special guests who have additional bodies.
and there's no Uber or Lyft this year so far.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't even have a fallback plan anymore. Like, we can get a literal pedicab or cab. That would just be kind of unnecessary, though.
Yeah, that would take like way too fucking long. But as far as like transportation in between the 3 locations, I'm hoping that we're going to be covered.
Yeah.
And that's why the Jen and I opted for having a couple of coordinator positions available on the PA team, because I was actually, like, it started out with me and Jen both being the coordinator for cabs, and then it ended up that most of it came through me, which is fine. That was completely fine. But the things that I've noticed is, like, say, oh, well, Matt has Anna and he has his kids. I was like, that's 4 bodies, and those things can only carry so many people. And I was like, okay, well, I need both of you guys at this location so you can take them to this other location. And that was 2. We had already maxed out on our transportation, where we had like other special guests who also needed transportation. So hopefully, we're hoping that there's going to be more transportation available, plus with the help of the coordinators, that kind of alleviates a lot of the pressures of doing that while maintaining other parts of the team at the same time. We're not exactly sure how it's going to go, but we do know that we're going to be assigning people to that particular responsibility. So that was kind of like another thing that I wanted to touch on, as far as like the expectations of the team. It's not always necessarily that you're going to be hanging out with staff or special guests. There's always going to be something that you may not find fun, but that is part of the job. And Mary was here on the podcast not too long ago, and she's like, but every part of this team is what makes it a team. If you have the person who is escorting a talent from this location to this location, if you have someone who's guarding an elevator or an escalator, that is still so important. And I want people to understand that it may not be the glamorous duty ever. It may not be like the most fun or entertaining position, but it's very much needed. Mm-hmm. So there might be some people who are not assigned to a special guest, or, I mean, we're still kind of figuring things out on our own, but we do realize what the team needs, and we do have to figure out a way to fulfill all of those duties for the team.
Yeah.
Right.
So I kind of want to throw that out there for everybody, because, I mean, it says PA, but, there are other things that need to be done other than, running across town to grab a Red Bull or something like that,
Exactly.
Yeah, like, even to throw in with that, like, I even remember my first year being a PA guardian, and I won't throw anyone under the bus, but there was one person in particular that was very upset, like, who they got, because they thought that with their involvement in the community, they deserve someone higher. And I'm like, and I was talking to them, like, before I had even met anybody, because I hadn't really met anybody from the RT community that was going to be a PA guardian at this time. I was just chatting with them on the site, and I was like, you might be surprised with how much you like this person, and you don't even know it. Like, I mean, you're there to support the person, to make their convention experience the best. Like, it would be great if alongside with that, it would make your convention experience worth it. But by being the PA guardian, you're to assist them into making sure that it all goes smoothly. And sure enough, they loved who they got by the end of the convention. They really did. Because I would have felt bad if they just dropped because, heaven forbid, they didn't get a high name. You know what I mean? Like, that's you don't apply to be a PA guardian if that's the game you're gonna play. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Jen and I, we do not deal with entitlement. We don't deal with it. Mm-hmm. That has no place on the team. And demands, certainly not a place on the team either. Like, you get what you get, and Just even being a guardian, like you should just be thousands of people applied to this, and you made it. You know. And I always try to, both of us, Jen and I, we always try to reiterate, like, just because you're on the PA team, it does not make you better than anyone else. No one is lower than you.
No.
So that is something that we try to instill very, very early on, especially with people who are new to the team. You're a guardian, you're part of the team, you're part of our little crazy family, so welcome. And these are the expectations that we have of you. And it's not all going to be fun. I'm sorry. It's a job. You know, we're a pretty tight-knit group. That is true. But again, we don't deal with people who are going to throw a shade or who's going to have a problem with things that they're assigned to, because we're supposed to work as one cohesive unit. And if you can't jive with that, then you're gonna have to find I don't know, another position or something like that. And I know that's very harsh to say, but that's what it's come down to.
Yeah.
We need everybody. We need every single body. Outside of the PA team, on the PA team, we need every single body, and we all need to be on like the same page. Because if we're not, then it's not going to work.
Right. And that's why I like the idea of the coordinator position this year, because another thing that the coordinators get to do is coordinate how many guests come into, or how many, like, they get to, like, you know, section off, like, how many special guests they have for a certain panel. Because, like, I believe that's, like, one of the duties that I overheard that they do. Or at least I think that's what I overheard.
Say that again?
For, like, talking with, like, coordinating with the panels team, like, to give for, like, special guests and VIPs and everything for panels. Is that something that I overheard?
For the coordinator position?
Yeah, like, can they, like, you know, hold seats for the special guests of the special guests or family members?
Exactly.
Like, would they arrange that with the panel team?
Yeah. Well, generally, at least how it worked last year, it was, say one of you guys would text me and say, I need this many seats for this person, for this panel, at this time. And that's all the information I needed. And then I would go ahead and forward that to whoever was leading the panel room. And it would only be the two leads. So whoever was stationed in the Hilton, whoever was stationed at the Marriott, 3 people, ACC, as well.
Yeah.
And then they, in turn, would tell whoever their lieutenant was. So it's a scary line that happens, but it's a lot better than having like 40 different numbers that you would have to like text. So it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
It is. I think it worked fairly well last year, but things could always be improved. Things could always get better with every year, and that's what we strive for. We try to make things better and better and better. So we'll see. We have to talk to the panel leads, see what they're okay with, see what they're not okay with, because there's a lot of sharing of like personal information. So that's another thing. Like you have to like just trust the people that you're working with. And I know not everyone is comfortable with giving out their numbers, so we just have to make do with however we can.
Yep. But another thing with like getting the exact numbers for like special guests, like it always changes.
Yeah.
Like for instance with Miles, it'd be like, oh yeah, I have 4 people with me, I have 2 people with me, I have 6 people with me, so it always changes from panel to panel. So it tends to be
Chris would
tough.
never know. He'd be like, I think I'm having people, and I'd be like, no, like, are you having people? Would they want to come? He'd be like, let me find out, like for every single panel.
Oh, Chris. A lot of people ask me like, what is he like in real life? And I'm like, you know that deer in the headlights look.
You warned me, and it's so true.
I'm like, he's like that in real life. But if you see him working, because I was kind of like off to the side. This is when I was his PA a couple of years ago. When you see him working, like he was doing Gauntlet 2 and everything, when he's in his element and he's actually, you know, doing what he knows best, I'm like, damn. Damn. And then he goes back to being Chris that we all know, you know, that's in front of the camera. It's like, oh, pat, pat, pat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's fun.
I'm definitely looking forward to working with this team this year, though, because it seems like we've got another quite lively group of people, especially
a
with
lot
the
of
group we chat.
people.
We've had to lose some, but we did gain some. So
Yep.
that works out.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Charles.
So sad.
Does everyone know? I wasn't sure if that was like.
I think people
public
got the
knowledge.
message when he left the group me.
Yeah.
I was about to say, does Gavin even know yet?
Oh, he does.
Probably.
Oh,
He does. He
poor
does.
Bo.
It's that's kind of heartbreaking actually, because they work very, very well together.
Hmm.
Because Charles has been Gavin's PA since really the PAs were even created. Because the first year that they utilized the team, they had no idea what to do with us. They're just like, I feel bad, but can you hold my coffee? I'm like, that's what I'm here for. You do the Statue of Liberty hold, and then with the other hand, you take a camera, or you take a picture, and then you're like, okay, moving along, and then that was it. But yeah, it's really, especially being there since the beginning, it's so cool to see how some of these relationships have just developed over the few years. Like I tell Marcy all the time, I'm like, as long as you're alive and as long as Bernie's alive, you guys are going to be together. I'm sorry. Like that's just how it's going to be. Because I can't imagine any other pairing unless there was like some kind of emergency, or whatever outside power makes it impossible. I would rather keep some people together, like. Jordan, you and Miles work very well together. I can't imagine separating you guys. There are other people.
Multiple times that you were going to take him away from Miles.
That was kind of Miles' fault.
That's true.
Right? Wasn't it Miles' fault? I don't
but
know. Fuck your biscuits. That's all I can remember.
I think it was saying something because Miles said something like, "I want a new PA," because I said something about Cheddar Bay biscuits, and then you're like, "Oh, I can make that happen," and Miles just immediately went, "No, I lied. I
was
want it
like,
back."
You lasted 2 minutes. Like, come on. If you're going to make that threat, you might as well keep it for a while. Oh, my God. I'm so disappointed.
Gotta play it up.
Yeah.
That was so ridiculous. I think I had like over 200 notifications from that night.
Anytime someone from RT kind of like does the, the ones that have like 6-digit followers, anytime they kind of like interact with your account, I'm just like, oh, there goes my battery. I just need to plug it somewhere. I can't.
Yeah, I actually just had something very recently happen with that. When was it? It was like Friday or something. I finally got caught up on Gotham, and I found out that one of the new baddies that they put in there was Clayface, Basil Karlo, and I'm very excited because I'm a Batman nerd, and I know that Basil Karlo is a badass. Well, the actor that got that role that is now going to be Clayface found it and got so like tenderhearted over it that he retweeted it and liked it and like thanked me, and he was like, I'm really excited and all this stuff. I have gotten like, I have to look at the count. I don't even know now. 523 notifications.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And I'm like, fuck, is he from something else? Because I can only imagine, like this past Monday was his first day of being Clayface, and then tomorrow will be his second and the last day, obviously, of the season. So he must be from like a CW show or something. I'll have to Google it. But 523 of his fans were very happy that I was very excited that he's on the show, and I was like, shit.
I love it when you run into actors, especially on social media. Like
You do, because you get everybody, Jackie.
I don't know how it happens, but I like it that the people who do interact with me in some fashion, they're just really down-to-earth people.
Mm-hmm.
Like my two favorites, only because of the way that they interact with me in their actual community, their own communities, is Freddie Prinze Jr. and Shawn Ashmore. I was like, holy shit, these guys are amazing. I know, right? I was like, how many people can say that they had Shawn R. Ashmore in their Twitch stream because they were streaming a video game that he's in? So that was pretty cool. I mean, I wasn't sure if it was him.
Yeah, same here.
I was just like, maybe it was a troll. Maybe it's just someone who like signed up with his name. And then I had a couple people come in like, no, really, you should check your Twitter. And I stopped the game. I was like, oh shit, it is him. And I was like, game face. game face.
Compose.
But yeah,
Sorry,
I
to
don't.
freak out.
Yeah, I don't have much of a, especially since I work with RT. Like I don't have much of like a fangirl moment. I don't have like a, oh my god. I might do that with Markiplier though. I'm not sure, but I anticipate
Yeah.
doing that with Markiplier. But hopefully
Yeah.
that's the only one. But yeah, I just don't have that whole, oh my god, I can't function in any way. And I'm just like, I met a couple of Twitch streamers last year, like Gassy Mexican, and
Oh yeah.
I was just like, hey bro, what's up? He's like, hey, what's up? And then that was it. That was a conversation. And it's like, oh, okay then. Just regular people. They're just regular people, and they're amazing. So,
Yeah, usually when I meet people that I'm really excited to meet, like one of my favorites that I met was John Barrowman. Like he immediately just broke the ice before I even got to him, because this was like before Obama's first term, and he was like, I still have my card in America, my voter registration card, because he does have a residence in like Arizona or something, I forget. And he was like, I'm going back and I'm voting, and we started like just like having like a talk about that. Then it started going very perverted very quickly. So he broke the ice there, so that was fun. But the only person I ever got really nervous about, but I don't really show it in my face or my speech pattern, I guess you would say, but I'll be looking at you in the eye, but it's totally glazed over. Like I'm not registering anything. And that was when I met Benedict Cumberbatch. When I met Benedict Cumberbatch, that was like he says he's 6 foot. He's shorter than me. Thank you very much. I have the photo on my Rooster Teeth site. He is like there, and I'm here. And it was amazing. I was like, yes, I met him, and I'm taller than him. It's amazing. But like, I didn't register like that entire interaction that a friend of mine actually filmed on her phone, me meeting him, which you were not supposed to do, and I didn't know she was doing this. But I was like, I don't remember any of it. None of it.
I blacked out for a moment. What happened?
I mean, it's Benedict Cumberbatch with that deep, sultry voice. It's made of pure velvet. I mean, come on.
Oh my god.
lucky lady.
I'm trying to think if I had something similar to that. I think mine was Derek Jeter. I met Derek Jeter, the baseball player. He's from the New York Yankees.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's a very well known. Like he's like one of the greatest players of the the 90s and the 2000s. And he was opening up the University of Louisville's new baseball stadium, and I got to meet him. I was like, oh my god, a New York Yankees in Louisville right now, and got his autograph, and I just was like, I can't believe this.
I was trying to get Cal Ripken's autograph a long time ago. My mom had a very bad travel to Baltimore, and this was before I made it like an annual thing when I would go to Otakon every year. But yeah, we got lost because it's like a lot of one-way streets, and then like before you know it, you're back on the highway to go home. You're like, fuck. But no, I'm going to a Nats game in June, so it's one of the times we're playing the Phillies at home. So my dad got a seat like right in front of where Bryce Harper stands. So who knows?
See, I've never met any like real famous people, but both of my parents have, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
have not inherited that gene somehow. Like my mom's met Kid Rock and Kelly Pickler. She literally ran into Ryan Gosling, and he bought her coffee because like there's a huge crowd. He felt sorry for her.
Oh my gosh.
And then my dad was able to meet. Oh my gosh, why can't I remember his name? The new Batman.
Christian Bale,
No, newer.
Ben Affleck.
Yes, because they're filming in downtown Detroit, which is where my dad works. So.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So I have not inherited these genes, but
I didn't know how
maybe
new
when I get
Batman.
older.
Yeah, I didn't know how new Batman you were getting into, and I was like, I think his name's David Mazzo from the Gotham show. Like,
Oh no.
I'm always scared to meet celebrities too because I have a certain perception of them based off of their work and what they've done and everything, and I'm just like, oh, I don't want to know if you're an asshole in real life or not. I just don't. But I suppose it's good to know whether or not they actually like deserve the support that I give them. But that's always a fear of mine.
You don't want to break the illusion.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was like, just be pretty. Just be pretty and perfect in my mind. I don't want to know anything else.
Or it's like the guy who plays Joffrey in Game of Thrones. And you find out he's actually a really nice person in real life, and it's like, oh, he's not an asshole like he's in the show. He's just a
That's
good
also
actor.
another thing, though. like I can't understand how some people they treat the actor, like the actual person, as if they are their character. And I'm like, excuse me, are you fucking crazy? You know, like they're not who they portray on camera. Like, how can you possibly treat them that way? That's so stupid to me.
And the kid that plays Joffrey, actually, there was an interview, and I saw it on Tumblr because I obviously don't watch the show. It's too intense for me. But the kid that plays Joffrey, he did have in an interview that he said that his agent was like, this is going to be actor suicide unless you do it right. Because he knew that by being this evil asshole, people would treat him as that character. And I want to say he did, or maybe it was just in my head that he did, but I remember that someone had made the reference that, like, with Will Smith, with, like, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like, when naming this character, you name it who you want to be called for the rest of your life, because no one calls Alfonso anymore, they call him Carlton. You know, and that's just, like, with that same logic, by you acting like this person, you're going to be thought of this person forever. And, you know, you can make any comparison with that forever, but that's actually exactly why I don't watch Supernatural right now. I stopped after season 2. Bear with me.
What?
Because the first time I was a PA was for both Jared and Jensen, and they ruined it for me because they are poopy head assholes.
Oh my gosh.
Jokingly assholes, not mean assholes. Like, I took Jared, just as an example, I took Jared to the bathroom, and he came back and said, look at this shit. And it was a picture of the shit he just took in the toilet. So...
Jesus Christ.
Oh my, thank you, Jared. Thank you, Jared. But yeah, no, so like that ruined it for me, because like now when I watch the show, I only see them as Jared and Jensen. I don't see them as their characters anymore. So I'm just like, the vibe's not feeling for me. I can totally believe Misha Collins' Destiel. Like, I got a little bit into him when his season started in season 4, but I was just like, but like I see all these like videos of people like meeting him behind the scenes. Like my two friends, my best friends in New Jersey, they meet him all the time at conventions, and he's just such a silly kid. Like the Get Wishes stuff that he does too, and I'm like, it's starting to break a little bit. Like, that's why I was so shocked with Laser Team. Like, I totally believed Bernie was his other character. I didn't actually see him as Bernie, but that was just for me. You know, and like, I guess, like, you know, by me spending so much time with him for the past 2 years, that maybe I should have just thought of him as just being Bernie, like, you know, with a different name or whatever. But no, I thought that he did a really great job with it. So, I don't know, maybe just pick and choose.
Yeah, it's like Alan Richardson is another one that, like, when you see, like, what he does in the Laser Team movie, he acts kind of like a dick in the movie. But when you meet him in real life, he's just a really nice, like, down-to-earth guy.
Mac and cheese, no.
Oh my god, mac and cheese. Jesus.
Dude, he's really pretty. Like, okay. And that's not like a you know, jab at him in any way, but like people who like have like perfect faces, I have a really hard time like looking at them and having a conversation. I can still have the conversation, but I have a hard time like looking eye to eye to them.
This is why you're gonna flub up when you meet Markiplier, but go on.
Oh, Jesus.
No, she's gonna flub up when she
Make
hears
sure we're
his
there
voice.
to record it, you guys.
But yeah, you know, going back to the Shawn Ashmore thing, when he came into the Twitch stream, there was like I forgot the actor's name who plays in Game of Thrones. What was his name? Oh my God, I'm blanking.
There's a
A
lot
lot
of
of
them, honey.
actors.
Describe the character, and then we can round it down for you.
He's the one that owned the brothel.
Oh,
Littlefinger.
Peter Baelish.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so it was him and Shawn Ashmore who were in the cutscene, and they were just like, you know, going back and forth. And I'm sitting here like a fucking idiot, not knowing that Shawn Ashmore was like in the chat, and I was like, man, these guys are like so pretty and handsome. I could never have a conversation with them in real life.
I think
And
he
he's
even,
just listening to this like shit.
I think he even said, "Oh, thank you."
You fucking idiot. Because I went back and I looked at the footage. I'm like, when exactly did he come in? He was there for like a good 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe he
my
was
God.
interested. I mean, come on.
Nah, he is happily married to a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I didn't say anything like inappropriate. It was just more compliments than anything. But I was like, fuck. Anywho, but yeah, I have problems like looking at people who are just have perfect features. It's just like, damn, I can't.
I remember I'm not going to say names for who it was, but when I was working the the VIP party, and one of the staffers for RT came out, and I was talking to her. I was like, "Oh yeah, how are you doing?" And having conversation, and the next thing you know, I was like, "Yeah, did you see that the Lysine guys came in?" She's like, "Oh yeah, Alan Richardson. Whew. I need to get away. I like muscular guys." And then walk off.
Oh god.
Yeah, she literally had to walk out because she's like, "Whew, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, need to walk away."
Oh man, it helps knowing when they're married too.
Yeah.
It helps. It's like, okay, I can't think of them that way. You know, I can't even like fantasize about their character. You know, that's just how far I take that. You know, but yeah. And then when like a really really handsome celebrity is like, oh yeah, I'm single again, I'm like, hey, what's up, though?
How you doing?
By the way, every one of you guys that watches Game of Thrones, don't look at Twitter right now.
Oh
Don't.
god,
Stop. I
man,
won't.
seriously, are they spoiling it?
Yes.
I've
don't.
actually like been pretty non-spoiled. Like the people that I follow are like not dicks.
Yeah, in fact, you might even want to turn off your question answer if you have that open because you don't need people trying to
Oh, there's no
be a
one.
dick
There's no one in the Q&A spoiling. So
so far.
so far. But
You know, my two friends in Jersey are literally killing things right now, so I was just like, that's enough for me to know. Just avoid Twitter.
oh yeah, that was me on Thursday when I had to end. I was halfway through Critical Role, and then Jackie decided to stream it. I was like, oh okay, I'll put Critical Role off to the side for a little bit, and then I'll do my modding for Jackie. And it was a fun stream, and then I go back onto Twitter, and then there's a specific follower of mine that I followed back, and then next thing you know, he like was tweeting out all the spoilers, like live commentary about the game. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
More of the story. Just mod
Yeah.
for me at all times.
Yeah.
Which you guys were like fantastic yesterday. Jordan, I know you missed the majority of it, but there were some crazy people. I shouldn't say crazy. That's not a proper word. Very enthusiastic people who were in the chat. So I actually ended up making James a mod as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was
And I
fun.
really appreciate that because he really helped. And like, I didn't want to time out people for so long if they were just coming into the chat.
Yeah, they took out the purge function.
Yeah, because like, well, maybe because James and Jen both did the 1 second timeout just to get the message deleted, and then would warn them like, please don't spoil. She wants to just do this blindly. For whatever reason, it was not working for me. I would type it correctly. Like I even tried different ways that Kevin Choi like recommended. Nothing worked for me. So I was like, I'm just gonna time out people and just keep warning. Don't spoil. I was like, please just listen to me.
That actually doesn't. I know Jen was helping. She was very very helpful in that sense as well. My biggest concern, and I won't get into too much detail about it, is just I had quite a few people. For me, anyways. Towards the end of it, I had like 66 people that were in the stream, so that was huge. And since I had so many new people in there, I wanted to let people know, hey, I like to promote a fun and healthy environment. And I know in other streams, some instances where like people would privately message other people and kind of harass them. We couldn't see that out in public, so I wanted to like let everyone know, hey, if this happens, let one of my mods know, let me know, and we will try to take care of it as best as possible. And then straight up just ignore the person and block them, because it's just so shifty how some people behave. But yeah, that was
so
just
hard just to be an asshole.
Yeah, I'm lucky for the fact that I haven't really experienced that a whole lot. I maybe got one harassing message after I blocked I blocked someone, like got rid of them or banned them from, I think it was from Jen's channel. I think it was back last year, and a guy like harassed me for like 2 days afterwards, and I just like completely ignored my message, and he just
You can actually go into your settings and you
yeah,
can
I
check
didn't
a
really
box.
I didn't realize that until Jackie said something about it, and but yeah, for the most part, when people like DM me, it's more of like, hey, do you think it's okay if I go and tell Jackie this?
Aww.
I was like, I appreciate the fact that you're asking me first instead of just blurting it out on stream. But yeah, and I'll be like, yeah, if it's helping, just try to just let them play the game first, and if they need help, they'll ask for your help.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, that one boss.
Which boss was it?
Yorn, man. It took forever.
A lot of people were like saying, "Oh, but she's just missing this one thing," and I was like, "Shh." And they're like, "But I want to explode with the spoilers," and I was like, "Shut up, just stop."
I managed to figure it out. Like, it was spoiled just like a tiny bit for me, but I wasn't sure if it was like something I already had, something I had to find, or whatever. But even then, when I figured out what it was, the item that I needed, I still didn't use it properly for one fight. I was like, it's not gonna do shit.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
They said it would be super effective.
It's not. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I mean, I did get a couple of kids that said, would it be okay if I said that she should use this weapon versus this weapon? I was like, that's too much of a hint, man. Like, please. It's like, I've been, like, deleting, like, all the messages that were the direct hint, like, what you're supposed to do, and I was like, that's too close to what I've been seeing, so, like, I mean, I feel bad, because, like, there's only so much I can do with, like, the modding thing, because I've never played that type of game, and I never will. But, like, you can kind of get the vibe of when someone is, like, literally telling you step-by-step when to turn and where to collect this, and it's like...
Yeah. There's several people who just don't get the hint even after the mod has told them about 5 times that they should stop.
They're excited about the game because they love it so much too, but it's still like you got to respect the streamer's wishes. You're on their stream watching them play the game how they want to play it, and you got to respect that, or that's at least how I've been, like, because, like, I mean, going back to, like, what you were saying, like, where the people, like, whisper and stuff, no names, obviously, but I did experience that, like, when the last times I streamed before I went to Austin for my little fun trip. I did not realize that this person was going through all the names in the chat, clicking on their name, hitting whisper, and was asking them very personal questions, which, if you're going to have, like, a conversation that's appropriate, do it in the chat, so everybody can get into it, so, like, they can choose if they want to comment on it. But you're, like, privately DMing them, and then when they choose not to respond to you, and then you keep harassing them even more to force them to answer, I'm not for that, man. Don't do that. So, like, it took, like, 3 people then, like, DM'd me, and they were like, yeah, this is happening, and it's weirding me out. And I'm like, oh, this is not cool. So I did have to ban them, because I was like, you might be a cool person in real life, but this is behavior that I don't approve of, and, like, I think that they thought that we were cool in the fact that we have, like, one thing in common, but that doesn't excuse very shady behavior.
Yeah. That person was a very special case. But, yeah, that's interesting. Twitch culture is very interesting. It's very different from most forms of interactions. But, trying to think. We're going to have a Twitch panel during RTX this year, aren't we? I believe.
Well, let's get the schedule.
I think so. Yeah, I think I saw that.
But yeah, Twitch streamers are doing. There's, like, people talking about Twitch streaming. Hopefully, Ray can come on and discuss some of that too, considering the fact that that's his profession now.
Right.
But
going back to, like, one of your early questions of, like, what panels do you want to see? I don't even know if I'm gonna have the time to see a panel, to be honest. Like, last year, I saw Social Disorder, but that was, like, Sunday at 4. So, I mean, I got to see Master Pancake, but that was, like, an evening one. I didn't even need to have my Guardian shirt for that or anything, but it's just that's not something that I would like to see. A couple of panels, but it's not feasible in my mind. I think we might have a little bit more, especially with the coordinator positions. We might have a little bit more leeway, but it wasn't something that I'm expecting. Because I do know that I at least want to, like, see my friends in a panel and be like, "Hi, I love you," and then I'll leave. Because there's just so much to do, and we're going to try and. Honor. There we go. We're going to try and honor as many requests as we possibly can, but there's only so much that we can do. We're just a very We're a busy group. We really are. So.
I see a George in the chat.
Is there a George? Hi,
Yeah.
George. I was talking about you lending me my ankle brace. Oh my god. So this is really funny. This might be TMI. I don't know.
Woo! We're ready for
Oh
it.
my god. So
Do share.
last year, the Wednesday that I flew in, I had a fever. I wasn't feeling very well, and I had a fever, and it was just like, oh my god. I was like bundled up in the condo that George and Tim and a few other people were in, and I was just like bundled up on the chairs, like shivering and trying to like sweat it out and everything. But I ended up staying with them for a couple of days. Luckily, it being a condo, it has like a washer dryer unit and everything. So I was like, oh, thank God. So I just like started washing everything. And then our chicks ends, fly back home, everything's peachy keen, and I get like this random text from George. It's like, yeah, so I have one of your pairs of underwear. I mean, it's nice, but do you want me to throw it away? I'm like, just throw it away. I don't even care.
That's amazing.
That's funny.
Damn it. 'Cause I had to move to another location for my temporary home for the last couple of days of RTX. So I just threw all my shit in the suitcase and then I left. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to be in the lofts this year because just of that with the washer dryer. Because we had a washer dryer at the hotel that I was at last year. But like I wasn't going to buy like a whole thing of soap, because for just the shirt, like I just thought that was kind of silly. For the short amount of time that I was going to be there. So what I do buy when I stay in a hotel is hand soap because I don't like the shitty little bar soaps that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And I have sensitive skin. So I buy like my own like liquid soap from Whole Foods, and that's totally what I wash my shirt in every day. I just pour like half the bottle in and just go for it. It smelled like lavender though.
I totally go like old school Asian stuff. Like I'll wash my shit in like the bathtub and like hang it out to dry for the next day. I don't even care if it's still damp. I'll still wear it because we cannot. I mean, this is like guardian orientation 101. You cannot smell like a gym. You can't smell like a rotten onion.
Well, yeah, and especially PA guardians, which all of us are. Don't do that.
Yeah. You don't want
be
to
nice
smell,
to your staff members so they don't have to smell you.
yeah.
That's how you know they can find you. If they can smell you.
I smelled you from a mile away. I smelled you from the Marriott. Carry wet naps with you. I mean, go to the bathroom. Give yourself a wipe down or whatever because fucking Austin's humid.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to walk in between 3 different locations. You're gonna get sweaty, and so carry like a little travel size deodorant with you or a spray, whatever you need to keep yourself in pristine shape because we're going to have thousands of attendees. We're going to have like a bunch of special guests in-person interactions. So that's just something that you guys have to prepare for. If you do realize that, I mean, don't wear just the shirt. Wear like something underneath it.
Under Armour, man. Under Armour helped me a lot because I sweat. No offense, Jordan. Well, no, you're an honorary girl tonight, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But boys, I sweat like a boy. I really do. So like when I'm like trucking it along or whatever, catching up with Bernie, holding a drone with one hand and his laptop with the other, I sweat and like my armpit sweat doesn't smell too nice. But I actually found this just this past year because. I don't remember if it was Mercer's or Lambency that was mentioning it. Someone mentioned it to me. But they sell it at like every grocery store now. It's a salt stick. It's called Thai salt deodorant stick, whatever. And all it is salt. But it doesn't stay moist like most deodorants do. Like whether it's like a creamy powdery type of thing or like the gel, like it doesn't stay wet. And like it literally eats the bacteria that causes the smell. And like I didn't smell at all like my last couple of days, and I was like, "This is amazing." It's like it's just salt, so it's not really going to irritate you that bad. So,
Let's see, looking at the Q&A again, we got a few. Raph, Tim, and George talking.
Here's
George.
Tim.
George says, Jackie, I can recreate the panels you want to see at home. And then he goes on to say, where is it? He goes. Oh yeah, and talk about your underwear story. This is the story of how we became best friends.
Just the most random text. It's like, well, shit.
And Tim says George and I have plenty of after-hours panels scheduled. All parties at Tim and George's place. place
Seriously.
it. Then Rap goes on to say 6 cans of Axe spray strapped to my bod for this year.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Do you guys watch Family Guy?
I
Yes.
used to.
Used to.
There's that one bit where Peter sprays like Axe body spray on him, and a bunch of like sick, dying cats come up to him,
Oh,
and they're like,
yeah.
"Rear, rear," and he's like, "No, okay," and then he keeps
Yeah.
going up and it like pukes on him.
In middle school, like the boys would take their Axe body spray and spray it into the heat vents, like the entire can. So, like during winter, when they turn on the heat, like that's all that you would smell for the rest of the day. Just no.
Oh, that's
It's too
disgusting.
much.
Yeah.
That reminds me of middle school. In the guys' locker room, because that's when Axe started becoming popular,
Yep.
and they had
Jackie,
no.
middle school. Are you hearing this shit?
And for me, that's when Axe started becoming popular, and all the kids did not know how to use Axe body spray, and literally they'd spray like half a can. It's like, oh my god, it smells like a French prostitute in here.
I was about to say, I was a senior in high school when Axe was popular, and all the seniors were in it for prom, and we were all like, what?
Yes, we're old, Marcy. We're so old. Oh my god.
And Tim says, guys, the guest list for our parties have been booked for months.
I want the couch, Tim, George. I want to sleep on the couch. I just like having like an entire room to myself. I don't know. It's just I don't know what it is about couches, but I enjoy them. They're comfy. I don't have to worry about kicking or punching anybody. I don't have to worry about like walking around and waking someone up.
Yeah.
Especially since you'll have to be up earlier than most people, I bet. So.
Oh my god, there were some days, man. Okay, and I also like tell people too, just guardians in general. We go through a lot of stuff. We express a lot of energy, and there like come Sunday night, you're gonna get very tired and exhausted, and that also means that sometimes you might be a little short fused. There was I'm not going to get into like details or anything, but there was an incident where I was on the verge of killing somebody. Like I couldn't, like people had to shut me up. They had to keep me from like choking out somebody by sticking food in my mouth. I was like, guys, I'm going to murder. And they're like, no, food, here, food, you're okay. But I mean, joking aside, we get pushed to the limits, and so when you get to that point, you always have to remember customer service. You always have to remember the big picture, because I don't think any of us have like really dealt with it in the past. But there are times when you're going to have to deal with someone who is just extremely angry at you, but not really you. They're mad at how things are run, even though you're following policy, you're following rules. That's not good enough for them. But you just got to keep yourself calm, and you have to deal with the situation. And if you can't deal with the situation, you get either the response team involved, or you get the whatever location security involved, depending on what the situation is. Going back, it's just be prepared.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to be 100% the entire weekend. I guarantee you. I cried like 8 times Sunday night when it was all over. I was a fucking mess. I was like, I didn't give a shit about makeup or how I looked or whatever. But just knowing that you put in so much time and energy and effort into this weekend, and then it's just all worth it Sunday night. And you're just like, I can't believe it's over. Like, I bitched and moaned the entire weekend, but now it's over. I can't believe it.
And you're like, why did it end again? What?
Yeah, you know, but yeah, that was a long-ass story. I'm sorry.
No!
That's fine. But yeah, we were discussing panels earlier, and I don't think we actually finished it. Does anyone else have like a panel that they specifically wanted to go to? Like
for me, like a lot of the panels, like, and this was the defining motive as to why I was like, I want to be a guardian now and not worry about being an attendee. When I was there 2013, like I was lucky I got to see all the panels I wanted to, like the RTAA panel, podcast panel. I got to film with the Soma guys and all that stuff. but like all these panels ended up on like Tumblr or YouTube within a week. And
Yeah.
I was like, so even the stuff that I'm missing, I can just watch it later. So I was like, then I'm good. I am good to go. If they don't have like this poo-poo about putting like the live feed up onto YouTube, like and a lot of the times Rooster Teeth just does it themselves, which I'm like, all right, this is awesome. So the only one that I would like to just be there just to maybe ask him questions like face to face, because I had a nice conversation with him during my trip, is Marcus. I would love to see Marcus's panels.
Yeah.
Marcus is such a
I
wonderful
love
guy.
prop making. Prop making's fun. And I'm trying to get back into it again now. And yeah, I'd like to ask him questions. Like, there's one cosplay that I really want to get into where I need face prosthetics, and he knows how to do that. And I'm like, help me like make a cement plaster form of my head so I can do it. Like, how you can't do it by yourself? And he's like, no, you can't do it by yourself. And I'm like, I'll combine it.
Like hell, I can't.
I tried to make one of my boyfriend's head, but that did not turn out very well. We did something wrong, and we're not sure what, and it took like a lot more hours, and we just ended up destroying the entire thing because it just didn't turn out right.
Plot twist: the mold casting is still on his head to this day.
Well, the worst part is we didn't have a bald cap, so he's like, "I'll just put Vaseline on my head." Yeah. So the gel stuff, whatever, like got stuck in his hair, and like it would come out, but you'd have to like scrape it out, and yeah, we went through a lot of combs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Luckily, he
Jeez.
shaved before that, so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Marcus is his panel is probably one of the ones that I want to go to, but there's also like 3 or 4 other PAs that want to go to that panel, so it's like
Well, I don't know if it's 1 or if it's 3, because isn't he the VFX panel? Is
yeah,
that him?
but the production one, like
Yeah.
with prop making, I
I
think
see, I
is the
see.
one that I want to go to.
I see. Okay. Yeah, there's a bunch of like special effect and video effect and prop making panels. There's like all over the place. I'm like,
But the other one that I want to go to is fan service. The
Mm.
Oh
Anime podcast
God,
one.
man.
fan service. I love that series of podcasts with Miles and Gray and Carrie. Like, it's so animated. Well, no pun intended. But it's so animated. I love, like, they go full force into it, and they love that podcast. But for me, luckily enough, it's literally the last podcast of the last panel of RTX, or the last time slot. So I could probably just manage.
As of now.
Yeah, we're not sure if it's going to stay that way or not, but if it does, that's the last panel. So I might just sit down and relax during that one.
Yeah, that was something that you mentioned in the video, Jackie, and I think that like a lot of people got like really confused about it, but I don't think people really need to fret about it right now, because obviously it's not going to pertain to every PA, because depending on the needs of your staff member, in regards to attending panels with the staff member that you are in charge of, for me with Bernie, he always tells me to stay put, because he'll want me to bring him something on stage at a random moment. Like last year, I had to bring him a sandwich, which he only took 2 bites of and then gave it to a fan to finish it off. And I'm like, really? But like I think like a lot of people had like that are veterans. They had like that same experience where their staff member, asked them to hang around. And then I guess like when they heard that, I did notice that there was like some confusion on the group me, and I was like, I think you'll know when you get there if your staff member says you gotta follow that. But then if they don't need you, don't stick around, make yourself available, obviously, like you guys were saying.
Right. How am I going to word this properly?
Because you obviously don't want to make people think that just because they're on a panel means you get to sit and watch.
Exactly. If you're a staff member, if your special guest says, hey, I would actually feel better if you stayed here, by all means, you do what you gotta do. But if they're like, okay, well, I don't mind if you went off and did something else, I can take care of myself for right now, and that is your cue to go. Because as we also said, sometimes they need breaks even from you. Some people may not be comfortable with a PA. You just have to accept that. There might be times when they're like, okay, well, they might feel that you need a break as well, or you need to go and enjoy whatever parts of the convention they want you to enjoy. So make yourself available. But if they specifically say you need to be here in case I need you, you better damn well stay. There's no. What we're trying to avoid And we haven't seen this in the past. At least I haven't. But what we're trying to avoid is people assuming that they can just hang out. You know, I'm not talking about like actually working. I'm talking about just chilling and hanging out. That is something, that is a stigma that we are trying to get away from. Not that we ever really felt that way with the team, but it is something that we have to establish early on. That is an expectation and a requirement that we have of the team. So if you are dismissed, you're dismissed. And then you become mine and Jen's again, and then we will find something for you to do. But if Bernie or Matt or Miles were to say, hey, no, I kind of need you to be here in case, because we need to book it as soon as this panel is over, or whatever the situation may be.
Or I'd left a stack of RVB Season 13 soundtrack CDs at my hotel room. I need you to go grab those real quick.
Yeah, you never know. It might be mid-panel where they're like, oh shit, I totally forgot to do something, you know, and they're gonna need you to take care of something while they're in the panel. So every situation is different, but the bottom line is, especially for the newer people on the team, you're gonna know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are free, if you do not have your special guests, and you're not even ready for your break yet, or you've already taken your break, you are now a freelancer. So you are continually helping out the team, and there's always something to do. There's always people to help. You just kind of have to take some initiative. It can't always be placed on me and Jen for you to find something to do, you know? Right. So the people that we picked for the team, Jen actually was very, very active in that, so thank you, Jen. You know, we trust you, and so during RTX, we just want you guys to shine. We want you guys to give us our best. We want you guys to give the convention your best, and we'll just take it from there. So I hope that kind of clears up a little bit of the confusion. I mean, we had a 20-minute video, so it's not like we wanted to like keep on adding more and more and more. But yeah.
Yeah, well, whenever you bring up a topic, everybody's going to want to know the nitpicks and like but what ifs this, what ifs that. So.
And we don't have an answer for all that.
Yeah.
Like we really don't. Every year we tend to run into different situations and different problems and different issues, and the biggest thing for you to do as a PA is to adapt as well as you possibly can. That's just crazy. I know we always joke about like the handcuffs and the winter coat thing, but that was actually a really, really big behind-the-scenes production, because Blaine was texting me. I had other people texting me, and they're like, we need this, and you have 2 hours to find it, you know? And I was like, well, shit, you know? I had to get
Did
people
we end
from
up
our
getting a
team.
favor to do that or something?
Huh?
Did we use the Faber app for that? I don't remember.
Okay, so it was really funny because Noobs and I were hanging out together to wait for a response, because we did find a coach. Someone actually from the freelancer team, the general freelancer team, had to go to their home and get this coat to bring it back to the convention. But somehow there was some miscommunication, and we ended up with 2 coats, and it's like, we don't even know where the second one came from. But it worked out in general. But it was a lot of hustle and bustle, and that's something that you really don't see, especially, you know, when everyone's just looking at the panel. It's like, oh my god, that's hilarious, Blaine's in a jacket. And I was like, do y'all even know what it took to get that fucking jacket?
Yeah.
It was just really crazy. So there's a lot of coordination. There's a lot of follow-up that needs to be done. And we've always managed to do it. You know, I can't think of an instance or an incident where we failed to do something. But especially for new people, new teammates, you're not alone. You know, if you find that you're struggling somewhere, and I don't mean like you're incapable of doing it, but if you need the extra hand, we have other people to help you. That's how we work together. And it's not you can only work with your team, you know? Like we've actually relied very heavily on response. Alex still gives me shit. He still gives me shit. He's like, you can't do anything without us. I was like, bitch, please. But
he does help, though. His team does help.
Yes. Yeah. They help us very much, and
same thing with Expo Guardians.
Yes. So we work with a bunch of different departments. We work with panels, we work with lines, we work with signatures. So it's not like you're exclusive to your own team, you know?
Well, we can only do our job because everybody else does their job, so really.
Exactly. Again, it's like I wouldn't be able to escort someone that has a high profile around if people weren't guarding certain areas. You know, like I forgot his name, but I know that he was on Charlie's squad. But he was guarding a door, and I thanked him very much for like standing guard to make sure that no one would enter from this particular entrance. So it's all very helpful. It's not glamorous, it's not fun and entertaining, and it's not like, you're going to be happy-go-lucky all the time. But it is a very much needed thing, and we can't do our jobs. Like, no one can do their jobs if everyone else isn't doing their jobs. We very much rely on each other.
Yeah.
I
definitely say that, especially veteran Guardians, and I think even the attitudes, not all, but the attitudes of a lot of the new Guardians have dramatically improved since 2014. 2014 was a year, like at least just from my visual experience, like you would get help from line guardians or expo guardians to help out with something, but then they would think that meant they were your job, which no. But I have not had that experience since then. Mm-hmm. And then also same thing with like how we were saying like earlier, like when people like if they were dismissed to not hang out and stuff. 2014, I know there were some people that would like stay in the VIP room and be like, oh no, I'm here for you, I can stay. And it's like, take the hint. That means you gotta leave, stuff like that. But then again, that was just like a visual thing. Like, I mean, I personally was asked by Bernie to come into the VIP lunch. He's like, oh, come have lunch with us. And I would have to tell him, you're with your kids and you're with your ex-wife. This is your time. I'm taking my break out here with Charles, etc. So, Bernie eventually got the hint for that too, that, he's overly friendly and he wants everybody to have a good time at all the times, but he also needs to have time for himself, even if that means I have to tell him to take it.
Right. And see,
Bernie, you are getting a timeout now.
Exactly. But you can do that. Because you understand that relationship. You understand that part of his personality. You can say that shit. I would feel very uncomfortable saying that. I'd be like, Bernie, no. I'd be like, oh my God, Jackie, have you lost your fucking mind? You can't say that to him. But that's also something, and it's developed over the years. It's not like this is brand new, Yeah. Some of you guys have been on the team for a while. Some of you have had experience in different situations, and so we very much rely on that. Hi, Chloe. So you guys have to draw from that. Not everyone is going to have the same experience. Not everyone is going to be able to treat a special guest the same way that they've treated other special guests in other ways. So again, it comes down to you have to adapt. You have to be empathetic. You have to be sympathetic. You have to be on point, and it is exhausting.
Yeah.
It is very, very tiring. But that is the level of professionalism that we need. So, and I don't mean to like scare people. I mean, by all means, you're going to have a good time. That's also like out there. You're going to have a good time.
Yeah, it's like last year when we had the special secret green room special room that we had last year for the staffers, and
the one that we just made up on the fly. And Gus and Brittany looked at each other and were like, it is done.
Yeah, exactly. Which, that was a great idea. I love that room. But when I first came in, I was like, okay, this is staff room. Immediately started heading the other way. Miles was like, where the hell are you going?
Yep. I
was like, this is your all's room. That's not my room. He's like, come in. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, a lot of the staffers were very confused as to why we were like gathered towards the door, and they're like, why don't you come? And it's like, it's your area. Pretend we're not here. You're not worthy.
And we don't do it to... We don't establish that rule so that you guys feel shunned. That is by far not the intention for that policy that we have. It's more that, again, not that we've like had like a huge issue with it, but we're trying to avoid you not working. If your energies can be better spent elsewhere, that's where we need you.
Yeah.
But again, it is up to your staff member. It is up to your special guest. If they need you to stick around, then please stick around. If you need a break, please tell them that you need a break, and then we will find someone to, step in for a little bit. I mean, I stepped in for Blaine. I had to do something for Raph, and I stepped in for Blaine, and I watched him for an hour, and really all I did, because Jen made those awesome armbands for us, for the Sharpies, all I did in that 1 hour was, like, stick my arm out so he could take some Sharpies and sign stuff. That's all I really did. But,
You watched Bernie's Kids for a while.
I did. That was fun. So here's the thing, because not everyone is familiar with escort missions. I call them escort missions because video games, but the situation was I got a notification, hey, Bernie wants you to watch his family, they're going to go on the expo floor. And it wasn't like people knew exactly who they were, but there are other ways to help. Like, being a PA doesn't mean that you automatically are responsible for, like, pushing people away and be like, nope, 20-foot bubble, you can't cross. But what I did help them with was I didn't like stand next to them. I was very much shadowing them from like 20-30 feet away. And they were like buying things. They were looking at shirts, and they actually went to the Rooster Teeth store line. So I was like, anywho, and I went up to Zach and like, so that's Bernie's family. Can they go to the front of the line? So there's like little things like that where they get special privilege. I'm sorry, whatever you want to call it, but that is Bernie's family, so they needed to be treated as such. And funny thing, oh my God, I will never fucking forget this. While I was shadowing them, I was constantly on my phone. I was coordinating cabs and panel seatings, and I was talking on the group meet. I was talking to other groups. I had to listen to the walkie to make sure that nothing was going on. Oh shit, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with that walkie. More stuff. But anyways, I was listening to like, there was like a lot of different things, and because I was shadowing Bernie's family, I was kind of like standing at a corner of one of the vendor booths, and I was like doing my thing, and then they were there for like a good 15-20 minutes just buying shirts or whatever, and when they started to move off, then I started following. But it wasn't until like one of the guys that was working the booth, he's like, I forgot exactly what he said, but he's like, oh, it must be so hard being a guardian, that kind of thing. And I was like, that's Bernie's family. And he shut the fuck up right there. And I was like, what is, again, it's that perception. It's very easy to mistake that I'm like messing around and like texting whoever or whatever. But I was working, and that's just other things that you're gonna have to deal with, like the the perception that, oh, maybe I'm texting, someone I'm dating or like a best friend or whatever. I don't know, watching YouTube videos. I don't know what he thought I was doing, but obviously I had a walkie and I was like doing this and I was on my phone, and apparently that looked like to him that I was fucking around. But I wasn't mad. I was raging on the inside, but I didn't like portray that to him. But I was like, I'm escorting that family. That's Bernie's family, And then he understood. Yeah, very much. Yeah. I don't think I got an apology out of it, but he kind of like he shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had my fair share of people being like, oh, you're Bernie's PA, I want to be Bernie's PA. And like the thing is that when I hear that comment, I'm sure there are some people that could absolutely do it, but this is what I automatically think, and it's probably spot on. They think that they're going to hang out with the man. Here's the thing with Bernie. He's nice. He wants to be nice to everyone. And you only see that side of him when he's out in front of the crowds, in front of the fans, like signing for everybody, and it's like, oh, yeah, good times. But he's also he has a very business schedule at RTX as well. And, like, they don't see that part of it. So, like, my first time being his PA, I'm so used to like the government official people that I used to work with, where like they had a tight schedule and they had to be places at certain times, and they would be very nasty with me. Like if I happened to screw it up, Bernie's too nice for his own good, and he would be like, oh no, it's fine and whatever, and I'm like, no, it's really a bad thing, and I would take it really to heart or whatever. But like that's just it. It's like he is a lot of more hard work than I think people imagine, but it's just that because I've had that experience of how to handle those types of high stress situations where he'll look on his phone and his phone. I'm looking at my wrist, but you know what I mean. He looks at his phone, and he'll see that, oh, I got scheduled for an interview, because like Chelsea, who at the time was his actual PA at the studio, she would set up stuff on the fly, and he would be like, so we need to go meet her right now. And, you know, like stuff like that just always happens. You just got to be like so quick up to the beat with it. So when I like hear people like say like, oh, I want to hang out with Bernie, I'm just like, good luck.
Like, oh, honey.
But like I'm sure we all have like our own stories with like, you know, someone coming up to you saying, oh, I want to be their PA, and you have your own stories from your own experiences being like, sure.
Yeah.
That's a common misconception.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, oh, like I think it's less that they like, oh, I want to be Miles' PA or something like that. It's like more the fact that they want to be a PA, but it's hard to just really judge whether it's more if you can tell by the tone of their voice whether they're envious or not, but it's really hard to tell. And some of it, for me, when I sat there, I was like, oh yeah, if you want to be a PA, just, you know, sign up to be a guardian and, you know, put in your 2 cents on why you should be a PA and have the work experience back it up. And the awkward interaction is when the person goes, oh, I did try that and I was rejected. I was like, well, can't do anything for you there.
You just encourage them to try again, because again, thousands of people, and a quarter of that is accepted. And then, like, a little fraction of that are PAs.
Yeah.
You know. But I kind of equate the whole thing to a wedding. Like, it's like, oh, I want to get married one day. I was like, I'm sure you do, but do you have any idea how much bullshit goes on behind the scenes? Like, preparing and going through all of the issues. Like, we all have good stories. We all have good stories about being a PA. We really do. But we also do have that handful of stories or experiences where it was stressful as fuck, you know, and you just got to deal with it, and you deal with it, and you guys are so graceful with everything, and I mean it when I say that I'm very proud of you guys for how you treated certain situations, because I was like, you know what, I can't, you guys are just, you're top notch, which is why you're on the PA team. But yeah, that's like a common misconception. It's for anything really. Like Rooster Teeth, they have this veil of like being just nothing but happy and fun and laughing all the time. But if you just like take a step back and you like look at everything that they have to do to prepare for those videos, there's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, and it's a lot of energy, and people don't understand that. So, you know, when people come up to me and they say, well, how do I be a PA? And then I like explain that to them, then they kind of like, it kind of dawns on them a little bit. They're like, oh, I had no idea. And I was like, you know what? Neither did I when I first signed up for being a PA. We didn't know what to do, really. I was like, did I have any idea that, you know, I'm going to have to be like on guard for like a couple hours, or I'm going to have like someone's credit card. I didn't even know you could do that in Austin. I'm going to have someone's credit card to pick up like a Kinko's order and all that stuff. It's just a lot of different things. And I mean, we have a lot of positive experiences. We have a lot of happy stories, but it's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah.
It really is. And some people just only see that front, that, you know, that the surface part of it. And I was like, we need people who understand the back end of everything. Because if you don't, it's not a fairy tale. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not.
I found out from my experience that Miles doesn't like to do things on the fly. You know, sometimes it's like okay, yeah, you like to play things by ear, that's fun. But also at the same time, it's like you're not playing ahead. You should probably plan ahead for some things. And then, like for instance, Miles like had one panel, which was talking about like how to. It was like how to write and everything, like, you know, RBB and like the writing of how video games affect it. And he actually did not have a plan for that panel. And he just like, and so probably about like an hour before, he was bouncing ideas off me, like, okay, how do I do this? Like, how should I go around this? And most of the time, it's just him just spouting things off and just being like, yep, sure, that sounds good. That sounds good as well. And just more that he needs someone to like respond to him more like it. And also he likes to, he gets very nervous whenever it's like a new thing happening. For instance, I think it was 2 years ago, like first year, he introduced the character Donald Doyle into RVB for RVB 13, or is it no RVB 12, and he was like, oh, I have no idea if people were going to like it or not, blah blah blah. He gets very insecure about it, and it's more of like trying to talk him down and be like, it's fine, people liked it. Was there laughing? If there's laughing, then it was a good reception.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of like, you have to, for me, it's a lot of reassurance. So.
But I also think too that he can do that with you because he trusts you.
That's true.
You guys have that relationship.
Well, we really didn't that first year. Like, he was very standoffish at first because he didn't.
They all were. Okay, they all fucking were. Between me and Chris, it was so goddamn awkward. Like, it was so awkward. Samantha, I don't know how he is with you, but our first year, like our first day together, it was just like, do I talk to you? Can I talk to you? Like it was, he was even like trying to figure out like body signals. He's like, okay, this means I have to go.
He gave me body signals too as well.
Did he do the wink?
No,
did he do the wink? I was like, you can't wink at me because I think you're too goddamn cute. You can't do that. I'm sorry, bro.
Within the first 10 minutes of meeting him, he offered me alcohol. I'm like, I can't actually do that. I'm working. He's like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
He's so cute. Oh my gosh.
He would never remember if he needed stuff for a panel or like wouldn't think about it until like 10 minutes beforehand, and like his schedule was really packed, so he would have like maybe 10 minutes to get to like each panel, and luckily like I was usually grouped together with another PA because of the other special guests and stuff, so I'd be like running to the RT store to grab like DVDs or posters or something to bring it back, or I'd be running to another panel to like make sure to tell the tech people like don't put it like live stream stuff straight onto YouTube because they had a problem with that one day, and yeah, it was a lot of running around.
Can I tell you my favorite story about him?
Go ahead.
Oh my god. So this is when they were doing the Simple Walk to Mordor panel. This is when Nick, the New Zealand guide, he also flew out to Austin.
I met him when he was really drunk.
He drew on my back. Oh my god. Anywho, so the three of them were on a panel. I kid you not. I probably still have those texts somewhere. But he's like, hey, I'm really hungry. Can you grab me some pizza? Okay, no problem. Luckily, the panel was in the ACC, upper level. And then I went across. This is when they had, like, oh god, it wasn't a Pizza Hut, but they were selling pizza. So I was like, hey guys, I'm sorry, can I kind of cut in line a little bit? I need to grab something for a panelist, and blah, blah, blah. Everyone was cool with it. That's also another thing. Like, if you do have to cut lines, please be sure to ask people if it's okay. Just understand that you have like a high-level emergency. So I grabbed them 2 slices of pepperoni. I figured there's no mustard on this. It's fine. I'm good. I get halfway across, and then I get oh, by the way, can you pick me up a rum and Coke? Okay, that's fine. Get a drink ticket, grab a rum and Coke. So I have a rum and Coke, and I have 2 slices of pepperoni pizza. I get a 3rd text from him. Because they were doing the Simple Walk to Mordor panel at the Rooster Teeth exhibition, or it was the equivalent to the Rooster Teeth Experience booth. So they had like all the different props and everything. Samantha, I kid you not, it was, can you pick up Nick's rotten toenail from the RT Experience booth? And I was like,
oh my
you want me to carry this with your food and your drink? Are you fucking crazy? So I get there, and oh my god, they had the toenail, it was on the table. All that it was a plastic box over it. That was it. So I was like, guys, I'm not going to fucking touch this. We're going to have to figure something out. So they had to scoop it into, like, an empty Tylenol bottle and then, like, wrap it around. And then they put it in the plastic box. So I had that underneath my arm. I had the 2 pieces of pizza. And then I had the rum and coke in the other hand, and I was like in the inside of the expo hall. So there were thousands of people around me. I was like, I'm going to fail. I won't be able to get him all this stuff. Luckily, Suppy, who is on the PA team last year, she's, I don't know if you guys have met her. She has a very loud voice.
Yes.
Yeah, she
So
does.
I was like,
She helped me out a lot last year.
I saw her. I think she was an Expo Guardian that year, and I was like, Suppy, I need you to make a hole for me. And she's like, get out of the way! And she was like pushing people.
It's like her food's rubbed off.
And I was like, you make the best holes for me.
That's awesome.
She's always been really good at that.
Oh my god! So that is one of my favorite Kristen Mara stories.
Oh my god. I was
So silly. Oh my god. Woo!
no. You were asked about first experiences with the people, and when I was saying standoffish, Miles didn't really talk to me on my first day. It was mostly his mom and his dad that talked to me. And they're really good, and they're really, really fun people. And if you ever do get the chance, go and try to talk to Mama Luna. She is
Oh my god.
she is one of the sweetest people ever.
I want to meet her so much. The fact that she interacts with her son on Twitter, amazing.
I
That
know.
is just amazing to me.
Yeah, she's always been really supportive of me whenever I do tweet something or anything. Like right when I was talking about like for instance, my dog got attacked by a raccoon recently, and she's like one of the first people to like interact. Be like, oh no, poor baby, are you guys okay? And check out on me and everything like that. So
I love it.
How
wanna
is that?
meet her.
How is that going for you, by the way? You're rabies free, I hope.
I still have 2 more booster shots to go do. So yeah, that's the thing.
How do
But
you even know? How does a human know if he or she has rabies? I mean, like,
you don't know.
what are the symptoms?
Start foaming at the mouth, you know.
That's the thing. When you start developing symptoms, it's already too late.
Yep.
That's the
Yeah.
scary part about it.
I watched an episode of House about rabies, and
Oh,
it was the
God.
most terrifying thing ever.
Yeah, it's
This woman
basically
had like the fevers where she like was put in an ice bath and she thought she was dying because her fever was so hot. And like I've overheated before. I stood in line for a concert in LA at the Avalon for 29 hours straight in the sun. And I had lukewarm water on me for a shower, like because my friend finally swapped with me 30 minutes before the doors were going to open. I got a quick shower and lukewarm water hurt. Like I was screaming in pain. So I can only imagine what that type of fever would feel like.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's but with me, a lot of it is you have to know whether if you're like if you are bitten by a wild animal, you definitely have to go and get a rabies shot automatically.
Do it anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like you're like, I'm going to wait throughout the weekend, maybe. No, just immediately go.
So what are the booster shots? They're just like just in case? Like what are they for?
It's pretty much boosting the effect of the vaccine. Because when you, that's like why whenever you're in school, you usually get like a tetanus shot once in a while. Because
Every 9 years or something like that. Yeah.
it's to keep the immunity up because it degrades over a while, or it's not completely. You're not completely immune. So for rabies, if you just have one shot, yeah, you'll probably be mostly immune, but there's still a good chance that you might get it. You might contract it.
Shh.
Okay.
Yeah. It says
She
a
got rabies
person.
shot.
It says a person who's exposed and has never been vaccinated against rabies should get 4 doses of rabies vaccine, 1 dose right away and additional doses on the 3rd, 7th, and 14th days. They should also get another shot called rabies immune globulin at the same time as the first dose.
Yep, and that's what I had. And they had toxoid shots that went with it because it used to be that you had to get it in the abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Now, yeah. So you had to get, like, for instance, I had 11 shots for mine. 11 shots.
Yep.
A woman who also had gotten bitten by a wild animal in the same night as me had to get 27 shots.
Oh my god.
So
I'd
if-
rather have the shots though than rabies, so it's like
Yeah.
shooting up.
At the same time? Like
yeah,
in one sitting?
that's it. I had to get 2. Like if you can see right here, I had
Can't
to
you
get
mix that shit in a blender and then make it into one? Like, why 27?
A lot of it is
Getting stabbed 27 times. That's horrible.
a lot of it is the toxoid shots. Is more of the fact that they have to get multiple in there to make sure that it does not spread, and like one toxoid shot does not do the job, and they had to determine like where you were bitten and how quickly it could spread. So it's a mix of those.
So is that where you were bitten? Was on your hand?
Yeah, this is where I was bitten.
Jesus, dude.
Right there and there. It's going to scar up pretty bad.
Did you need stitches?
No, actually. The thing with rabies, if you get bitten by a wild animal, they will not stitch you up.
Yeah, you don't want stitches.
Because there's a high chance of infection. And if they know that you're going to get infected, if you know you're going to get infected, like a high chance of infection, they don't want to just go sew you up and then immediately cut off the sutures. It's just too much of a problem at that point. They just leave it open and let it kind of
hope for the best.
Yeah, kind of like hope for the best that you don't get infected. So.
Damn.
Well, that's like that with like a lot of really big open gaping wounds. Like I am shocked that some get stitches and some don't, but like I had I thought it was a boil, but according to like doctor reports, because I was young, I didn't know what it was. It was a spider bite, but I had an infested blob of infection in my side. It's like right on my hip, the scar that they literally had to carve it out, and I had this big hole about, I want to say it was about an inch deep in my hip for about a month. And there are like no stitches, no peroxide or anything, no Neosporin, nothing. Just rinse it with water every 15 minutes for your first week, and then every hour from then on out. And it stink like death. But yeah, it's a nice little scar now. Like I remember it trying to heal. Like I couldn't wear jeans, I couldn't wear underwear. I could just wear very loose clothing because I didn't want to like accidentally rub against the skin and just have it bleed forever. Because you all know me, I'm a hemophobic. Blood in me. No. I couldn't even like rinse it. My mom took like a month off of work so she could be the one with the shower handle to wash it off for me, because I was like, if I look at this, I'm going to pass out and make it worse.
Every 15 minutes for the first week?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it was a big hole. Like,
did you get to sleep or anything?
I usually sleep on my side, so I would sleep on the side that it wasn't on. Like it's right where like your leg connects to your hip bone, like next to the vag, actually. Like that's right where so you know. But we're still live. You're very welcome, everybody watching this. But no, like they carved around it, and like this lump was about 3.5 inches long and about 1.5 inches like wide, I guess you would say. And like there was no just like, you know, kind of stretching out and then like squeezing it out, you know. It was like a solid mass. So the guy said, we're giving you Novocaine shots so you don't feel it. No, he had a scalpel and he was totally carving out of me, and I had 5 men on me like holding me down because I was screaming.
Dang, dude. Why didn't they just knock you the fuck out?
I asked it and they're like, oh, but it's such a quick procedure, we'll be in and out in no time. And I was like,
no.
Fuck everyone.
It'll be quick. Here, we're going to carve it out with a fork.
Well, no, and here's the thing, is that I knew what was happening, and I envisioned all the blood dripping down my hip, so I passed out and then would wake up with the pain again, scream, pass out again. It's just this cycle over and over again.
Oh my gosh.
Should have just knocked you out, dude.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah.
It was painful. It was painful enough getting the shot for the toxoid shot right into the wound.
Yeah.
Because like when they do it, they don't do it around. It's a local, but it's not around. It's right straight into the cut itself, the bite and everything. So
deep wounds suck, man. They suck.
Dude.
I thought it fractured my finger at first because it bit down so hard. Like it was swelling quite a bit.
Okay, worst nightmare happened to my friend. She was staying with I think her girlfriend at the time, and she was like sleeping on a couch, and then she went home, and then like a day or two later she was like scratching her head because it was like irritated, and so she had like a little bump on her head. She's like, oh god, I probably got bit by a bug or something like that. So she just like let it be, but it got worse and worse and worse to the point where when she was scratching it a couple days later, like something came out and it was an egg sac.
Oh no!
Oh god! I was like, did you open it?
Oh,
was just like, why would I open it? I threw it away, and I was like, put it in a Ziploc bag. You could have opened it to see what it really was.
Oh,
no.
God.
No,
Yeah, you
She
see
said it was
those.
like a small black sack that came out of her head.
Yeah, no, you hear those, like, and you watch those like videos on Facebook of people like that have like the spider laying eggs in your ears and stuff like that. That's so rare, but when it actually happens, you're like, what the fuck?
Oh God, I can't. That's like, oh, nightmare fuel right there. Ugh.
Yeah. Ugh.
You know, interesting story here. Long time ago, watched some sort of, I don't know, some guy like reliving some tale of when he spent the night in the Amazon. And like, he was like with him and his other friend, and for some reason his other friend wasn't there. But this guy like all of a sudden felt really sick. He had a high fever, got really dizzy, could not like do anything, and he started developing like red like patches all over his body, and they were really itchy. And like he got to a certain point where like he just wasn't moving. He was just laying down like on his sleeping bag, just not moving. And out of nowhere, some like tribal person came over and started putting like thick, like like lotiony kind of stuff like all over the red patches, and in each individual patch he would pop out like a pimple, two different like larva things out of each one.
Oh no!
So
No,
they
that's like
went
the
all over him.
botfly
Yeah.
videos. I don't know how to watch those, but
That's-
oh.
That's
It
why
felt so
when
much better afterwards, but
That's why when people say, I want to go to Amazon, I'm like, fuck no.
Mm-mm.
Keep me away from that place.
You don't
Hate
know. You
bugs.
don't even know.
Well, no, it's just that literally the floor of the jungle moves because there's so many insects and stuff
Yep.
moving around in it.
No.
Fuck that
he
noise.
found out that the floor that they were sleeping on was like some sort of like cultural thing for them that these insects were growing in, which is why it happened. But
Yeah, no, like my old roommate in college, Kurt, he went to.
I'm like scratching myself right now.
Yeah, no, my old college roommate Kurt, he went to Australia for the off-campus trip. I went to New York. He went to Australia because he had the money for it. I was like, I don't have the money for it. But during that time that they were in Melbourne and Sydney, they were given the option to go on like a ranch hike, I think is what they labeled it as. But you would basically walk in the wilderness of Australia and just like follow a tour guide. And
hello, spiders.
yeah, right. Or any other like, quote unquote god creature that just like Australia. And like he ended up getting ill, like food poisoning, so he stayed in the hotel while all the other like sequential department kids that went to the trip went on this thing. And they said, you have no idea how lucky you are that you got to stay, because like it wasn't even like an actual like licensed tour guide group. It was just like some dude. And he was just like walking through just straight up wilderness, just straight up, and like so much bad could have happened. Like they could have ran into an animal that could bite you, or a bug, or whatever. And like it was so hot, and there was mosquito shit everywhere, and just like no one had a good time. Just no one did. And like there was no bathrooms, so you had to go in the wilderness. And a couple kids had to do that, and I was like, no. So I was very happy that he didn't have to endure that, because we would have had to have stayed in a room for the year after, and it's like, I don't know what you got. We're not doing this.
I won't even go to like Red Rock Canyon, which is like 20 minutes away from here. My friend was like, you want to go hiking? I was like, is
I've
there
actually
Wi-Fi
went to Red
available?
Rock.
It's pretty.
Mhm.
It's like super. I just don't do outside. I'm like,
I used to do camping and stuff like with Girl Scouts when I was forced to be a part of them. And like I would dress head to toe in like long sleeve shit. I'd wear gloves even if it was like 80 degrees outside, because I was like, I don't want to get bit. And like sure enough, the people that would bitch at me, like saying, oh, you're such a wussy or whatever, would get bit. So I was like, fuck you. I was prepared.
Instant
No,
karma.
I always got sick though. I always would get like a flu or a cold bug, because the girls in my Girl Scout troop were dirty little animals, and I'd have to have my parents pick me up in the middle of the sleepover in a tent that was coated in everyone's like condensated breath, and I was like, I'm so miserable.
My poor sister, she every time she gets a mosquito bite, it like swells up like huge on her 'cause she's allergic to them, and like itches like crazy, and like it's like every single time, 'cause mosquitoes love her for some reason, so she like has to like coat herself in bug spray all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm lucky I'm not her.
Yeah, I said my sister and my mom are exactly the same way, where it's like mosquitoes are all over them. And, like, they don't know why, but just something on them smells tasty to mosquitoes. But for me, they always hate me because I've never gotten a mosquito bite once. They might bite me, but I don't swell up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't even see a bump or anything. They come on me and then they just suck and then leave, and I'm fine. And they're like, and they're just like,
What's up with my best one?
that sounds pretty wrong nowadays.
You just said suck and leave, and I was like,
Phrasing.
Netflix and chill.
But yeah, no. Yeah, I like whenever I get bit by a mosquito. Like I might get bit, but I don't know because it never shows up on me. But
Right.
spider bites are the worst for me.
Oh yeah.
So if a spider's even near me, it bites me. So
Yeah. We have
God.
we have house spiders and wood spiders and wolf spiders
I
here.
hate wolf spiders. Oh.
And they're annoying. Like, I mean, for me though, like I don't mind them if they're in their designated corner because then they get the little gnats and shit that like fly through the screens, or like heaven forbid there's a fly or a mosquito in here. But once they move from their designated corner, it's like I can't help it. Like, I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, it was right after I played Undertale that there is a spider character named Muffy in there. Or Muffet, like, you know, play on
yeah,
Muffet. And there was this one spider that it was right here, right next to my computer, on the wall, and it was like right in the crevice of where the crown molding in the wall was. And I was like, how the fuck do I get it out of here without killing? I want to kill little Muffet. That's gonna be so sad. So like, all I have to do, let's see if it works. Puck, puck. Now he's dead asleep. It's not gonna work. But usually, if you say the B word, the bug word, he'll wake up and he'll be like, where, you know? But he ended up knocking it down for me, so I could like scoop it up in a cup and like throw it outside.
Nope.
But like, what I did is that I got it in the cup and I had like my little, where is it? I don't have it with me. I have my like little portal, like the fuck are these called? Drink coasters. There you go. And I just threw it out the bathroom window. The bathroom's next to me, and I just chucked it out the window and I shut the window and I was like, okay, the spider's out, whatever. The next day, I'm lying in bed. It is on the wall above my head, the exact same fucking spider, and I'm like, really?
I remember.
I was like, I threw you outside. Why are you here? I got
No.
really, really scared. I was like, man, this is a vicious ass spider. But I eventually caught it again and I put it outside, and I was like, if it comes back, this is definitely Muffet.
Nope. I wouldn't even give it that chance.
Oh god, this is a creepy experience. My sister is deathly afraid of a couple things: spiders and wasps. And actually, well, not so much, but it's this one, which I'm talking about, does scare her a lot. Snakes.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really encountered many snakes. They usually don't come near me at all, so I never see them. Apparently, my sister went to go check on my dog while I was away down in another city visiting friends, and they went in through my front door. My sister literally went inside the house, and the next thing you know, my mom hears like a blood-curdling scream, and she's like, "What the hell happened? Is there someone breaking inside the house? What is there?" And it's like, next thing you know, a snake had apparently been like up inside the door area,
Mm-hmm.
and when she opened the door, it fell on top of her,
Oh shit!
and she
Oh
literally.
shit! That was creepy.
I think it was a rat snake. I think that's what it was. But it was like it literally fell on top of her, and she like freaked out.
How did it even get up there?
I don't know. I don't know how the damn thing climbed.
Oh, well, that's kind of like there's this like thing on Tumblr now where like this guy was like about to do something on a day or whatever. Then he heard like this blood curdling scream from the kitchen, and this brother, I guess, found a snake in the kitchen. I'm still looking at that video. I'm like, where's the snake? I don't see the snake unless it climbed the window. I don't know where the snake is, but like I can't imagine. I mean, I've only ever ran into a snake once when I was visiting my aunt and uncle up in upstate New York, near Syracuse area. And I was just walking along the little, dirt path that they have that goes to their little lake house. And a lot of people have like logs as like kind of like their fence area to like, show like where their property starts and ends or whatever. So I'm walking along the logs and I jump down and I see a snake that is white, black, and orange. And I jump back on the log, and I'm like, okay, remember, which one's the poisonous one, which one's not the poisonous one. So thankfully it was the non-poisonous one, because I think the poisonous one also has a yellow ring or a very thin white ring, whereas this one was all even Steven colors. But I just, like, I think snakes are cute, just not when I think that they could attack me, and very to like quickly get up to me. I'm like, no, thanks.
I think centipedes are the worst.
Oh,
I
And
hate
centipedes are some of the most poisonous things on Earth too.
Oh, we get them all the time here, like, because I live in a pretty old house, so they're just like centipedes and silverfish, which are just the
Oh
giant
my
versions
God.
of centipedes.
Those are
Now,
creepy.
now my feet are coming up off the floor.
Like one time, I was in my room, there was a giant one on my wall, like this big. I'm like, I look at it, like, nope. So I turn around and slept on my sister's floor that night.
Yeah.
I was not going anywhere near there.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen them here, but my grandmother's old house in Akron, she used to get like centipedes and millipedes, but the centipedes were the worst because they're huge. And they lived in her air vents. So like I would see it go into in one room. I'm like, well, I'm not staying in this room, so I'll go to another room, and then I see it come out of that one. I'm like, fucking leave me alone.
They're all out to get you, Marcy.
Well, they move so fast, and you're trying to
but they have like a million legs.
like yeah, like it moves like that. It's just oh.
Okay, I'm not gonna sleep all night, you guys.
Okay. I think this is a good point to end the episode.
Yeah, we've been going on. It's like 2 hours
So
now.
this ends the Nightmare Fuel portion of the podcast. So.
Sleep well.
Alrighty, well, it was fun having you guys on. This was a really fun conversation.
Yay.
So we might not get to sleep.
Oh, good.
And I need to go and watch Game of Thrones before anything else is spoiled. So
Ditto.
I'm seeing on Twitter just a bunch of people like, oh, that's so intense
Just
and
get off
everything.
Twitter.
That's
But
what
I mean,
I warned you earlier. I told you to get off of Twitter.
Hey, nothing has been spoiled. Everybody's been good. Everybody for me has been, going.
All right, well, for you, because for me, they flat out told me exactly what happened. So
Those
I don't. Okay, maybe we can talk about this off air. I really don't understand. Like I like the last 5 years or whatever. I see the Twitter responses like, I can't believe this. Oh my God, no, why? All this stuff. And I watched it. Granted, it was like years later, but I did watch it. I was like, I don't get it. I was like, I'm not so attached to these people that I would have that response.
Yeah.
I felt bad, but it wasn't like I had to take to social media and lose my fucking mind.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe this one's warranted. I don't know.
I don't know. There are some things about that, but we'll discuss it off the podcast.
Okay.
So. Alrighty. Well, have fun, everybody, and have a good night.
Hands.
Just hands.
Spirit fingers.